Hello, hello, hello. I apologize for being so late again. This is never gonna not happen. It's never gonna get better, no matter how hard I try. Alas, my hours at work just got shifted, so now I get off work an hour later than I normally do. So I have an hour less to get ready to stream from the time that I come home at work than I normally would. I feel like that's a good enough excuse. Hi Golan, hi Zen, hi Cliff, hi Tori, hi Cubes. I had a frozen burrito and instant mashed potatoes. Ba-bam! Oh man. Hey. Oh man, you have time to go make food, Plu. Go make food. Because I have something that I want to share, and this is not important at all, but like it's so important to me. I Okay, so you guys know that I play Love Live, and some of you might know that I'm like a little bit of like I'm like horribly addicted. It's really bad. I've spent a lot of money on it that I shouldn't have spent any money on it. But the thing that happened today is that I got the card that I've been wanting from the very beginning. Look at her! Look at my precious nozzle meme! It's a Halloween themed card of my favorite girl. I finally got it. I finally got it. I'm so excited. Oh, Golem, that's awful. I'm sorry that happened to you. Then I had a frozen taco-like burrito. Bam. Thank you guys for supporting my terrible addiction to bad things. Let's be real here. I've spent so much money. Anyways. Have I heard, has a little birdie told me that it's Maya's birthday today? What is your news, Maya? Oh yeah, congrats, Syrian. Happy birthday, Maya! Yay! And this is a present. And you got a scholarship? Oh my god, congratulations! Oh, seriously, congratulations! For being a huge Shakespeare nerd? Oh my god, Maya, today is Maya's day! That's awesome! I'm so happy for you, Maya! Oh my god, that's so great! My forehead veins are all popping, I'm so happy. Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm gonna play the opening video. Oh, hey! Oh, hey, Kaipon! Thank you for subscribing and continuing to subscribe and support the fold. Welcome to the fold again. Re-welcome. Continuously welcome. Let's go. That's so great, Maya. I'm seriously so happy for you right now. That's awesome. Being a nerd pays off. Oh, it is. Thank you for reminding me. Give me 2 seconds. It'll open. It'll appear. Give it a couple seconds. Give it a sec. Give it. Magic! Fixed it! Yeah, man, Maya, you are having like a really awesome birthday. Congratulations, you deserve it. Man, Kaipon, you feel so something that I don't even know what you're feeling. You feel you feel feed. You feel feed today. Oh, you feel dead.
Asagao Academy, Normal Boots Club.
Hi, Ian. The first years you're in charge of tricked you out of your room so they could fill it with balloons that had notes in them? That is so cute, Maya. Oh gosh. It sounds like you're having a great day. Alright, Plu. The bar at the bottom of the screen is because, last stream, the chat revolted on me and joined Shane's side because Shane was like, you should start a donation incentive for the Shane route. And then everybody was like, yeah! And started donating for it, so now it's a thing because everybody donated for it. And Shane's gonna be like, oh, Kara did this of her own accord. Oh, she's bad. And really it was him. Evil. Evil Shane. Hey, I hope your guys' school's going well now that everybody's back in the swing of things. Your summary is correct, yeah. Oh, I'm so happy that you're doing an escape room. That's awesome. Oh, thank you, Len. Yeah, Zek did pick the amount because I was panicking. Shane is the villain of the stream. He's the antagonist, and also I need to tweet out about the stream. Time to date Paul. Paul. Boop. Time to date the Paul. Don't think that's weird, actual Paul. All Pauls of the world. Maya, all your campaigning has brought us here. On this day of your birth. On this, the day of your birth. Now where would I find him? I wandered around to Asagao for a full hour, absolutely clueless as to where I could find a single member of Continue. They were always off somewhere doing something, always getting down to shenanigans or setting up some kind of plot. Even when someone saw them in the library or the cafeteria, they were gone by the time I went to check. It seemed like a wild goose chase. Eventually, I crawled up to the 4th floor of Asagao, acting as if I were checking my locker for something. I rested my head on the cool metal surface. How was a girl to find them?
Hana!
Hey, Hana, are you... Ah! Paul stood behind me, visibly surprised. You alright? Yeah, no, I'm fine. What did you need? You're going to the flower festival, right? It's a good opportunity to get to know Higanbana. Small towns like this aren't really my thing, but it's got a good bit of history behind it. Might help you feel more at home. I heard Higanbana was steeped in culture and traditions, but it seemed like Asagao Academy students were changing the dynamic of the town quite a bit. Even for the flower festival, it was custom to give someone a flower to ask them to go with you. Clearly nobody did that anymore. I twisted my hands. If Paul was bringing it up, was he asking me, or... I came to ask him, but he was bringing it up in a friendly fashion. Maybe he didn't see me that way. Oh, hey, Squid! Thank you for continuing to subscribe and support the fold! I think so. Maybe with Mai if she doesn't get a date. Oh, you aren't going with anyone? Me neither.
Really?
Really now? My throat tightened. So he was planning on asking me. Was this his way of letting me know I could ask if I was interested? Or was he just making casual conversation? Thanks, Kaipon.
Well...
Yep, I'm not too bummed about it though. I've been every year and it doesn't usually turn out well. For the girl, at least. I have a great time. Huh? Why's that? I don't actually know. Maybe it was the wrong person? Or maybe I had something stuck in my teeth? Every year? I had no idea what he was trying to accomplish. Well, I came here to ask him to the festival. Might as well try. Hana's braver than I am. Actually, now that you brought it up, I thought it might be cool if I could go with you this year. I winced. There it was. I did it. Good job, Hana. Paul seemed visibly taken aback, even a bit confused.
Really?
Even after I told you about the last ones I went to?
Yeah.
Of course. You've been really nice to me since I got here. I managed to make friends with everyone primarily because of you. It would mean a lot to me to attend my first flower festival with you. Oh, hey, Sir Karina. In that case, of course I'll go. I didn't know you rated my stupid little acts of kindness so highly. Especially considering they were usually to make up for unintentional harm. How did you get turned up? I hope it goes better than the last few years did. Don't worry, I'm sure it will.
Alright.
Right, so we'll pick you up tomorrow night? Sounds fine to me. Wait, did he say we? I looked at his eager eyes and bright smile. Nah, it was probably a slip of the tongue.
See ya.
See you then. This is weird. I woke up late the next morning, the day of the flower festival. I was buzzing with anticipation, but because of that, it took forever to wake up. Now it was almost noon, and I rubbed my eyes as I rose. Hey there, sleepyhead. Ugh, good morning. You slept even later than I did. That's impressive, Hana. I sat up in bed and something on the edge of my desk caught my eye.
Hey,
What's that?
I don't know.
Oh, that? A letter for you. Came in the mail this morning, so I just said it. I have that VN, Cliff. I've actually been looking forward to playing it sometime soon. I scrambled out of bed and into my desk chair, ripping open the letter. Whoa, jeez, calm down. It's not going anywhere. Turning away from her, I started to read. Little Blossom, how have you been doing these past few weeks? I'm sorry I haven't found the time to write. Your pa's been working hard lately, and I seem to go right to sleep when I get home. I know things were difficult for you here, and I only hope that you're having a better time where you are now. It isn't the same without you here. I miss your cheeriness and watching TV with you, and most of all your pink hair bopping around the kitchen. Hana, I know you feel bad about the pressure this must be putting on me, but don't. I do this because I love you. There's nothing I want more in this world than your happiness. I miss you, Hana. Be strong. Your Papa. This scene made you cry. Nailed it. Hey, Zek. My hands trembled. Tears filled my eyes. I hadn't written to him since arriving at Asagao. As many times a day as he crossed my mind, I'd just been busy with other things. He must be worried sick, and from the sound of things, he was also depressed. I missed my father. I missed my home. I missed helping him. If I wasn't around to cook him breakfast, he almost never ate. He kept saying it was fine, but he was getting older, without Mom there to take care of him. Hana, are you okay? I wiped my eyes on my sleeve. Yeah, I'm fine. I miss my dad. I picked up a pencil and paper and began to write, trying hard to block out the tears. Eventually, Mai turned to her own work and let me be. Dad, I'm doing really great here. This has been the best change of my life. I have a best friend, and I might join a club. I even have a date. You sacrificed so much to bring me here. I know I hardly gave you any choice with the way things were going. I was spoiled and ungrateful, but you always did whatever was necessary for me. I miss you so much, but thank you. I know this was a huge sacrifice. Please eat well and take care of yourself. Remember, 2 glasses of water in the morning and 1 before bed. And have breakfast! Scrambled eggs are easy to make. Draw a smiley face on them and ketchup, just like I would if I was there. I'll send my love through that, so make sure you do it! I miss you. And tell Mom happy birthday. Oh fuck! I'm making myself cry! Oh fuck! I didn't remember that was a thing! What is that? That's sad! Oh, man! It's fine. I'm fine. God, Hana. Man, I really like Hana's dad. Perfect dad. I made myself cry. I don't... It feels weird. Hey, Saint! Maya chuckled as she watched me nervously adjust my hair in front of the mirror. Thanks, Min. Is it something, or is that just sad to make yourself cry with your own writing? I don't know. You are very lucky, Saint. Hana, you look so cute. You have nothing to worry about. I guess so. But I've never been on a date before, so... Mai looks so cute in her yukata. And you picked Paul as your first? She snorted, applying an extra dash of gloss to her lips. He's nice and reliable. Even if things get really crazy when he's around, I feel like I can always count on him to make things better. You've never seen that before? Come on, Syrian, look at her! Well, he's no Jared, but I wish you luck. If you've fallen for our president, there's no way I'm gonna hold you back. Fallen? She winked at me. No? Then you're going with him platonically?
Bingo.
I thought so. She hummed happily to herself, but a horrible thought occurred to me. Did anybody recognize that hum song? Something I hadn't considered until just now. Did Paul know I intended it to be a date? I twisted my yukata in my hands, then glanced out our window. The lights of the festival glistened in the distance, and small groups of people traveled the grounds towards it. Of course he knew it was a date. Paul wasn't stupid. Sure, he was a boy, but he must have picked up on it. Death by Glamour. Yeah, nice, Saint. Good job. Oh, I think I see him coming. I flew to the mirror to double check myself just once, still decent enough, and dashed to the door. Oh, thanks, Agent. Yeah, there's a charity drive going on Twitch. If you do the bits, then, and include the hashtag charity, then the bits go to charity. Realistically, you could just donate the money that you use towards the bits to the charity anyways, but if you want to do this, that's cool too. Charity's charity. You'd better tell me everything when you get back. I will, promise. And with that, I was out the door. I shuffled nervously down the hallway. It was difficult to walk in my yukata. The fabric restricted the movement of my legs, and my sandals tried to jump off my feet at every turn. I made it to the first floor and pushed open the door nervously.
Whoa!
Hana!
Hello.
Guys! Hana, you look... Oh god, Josh is blushing. That's so strange.
Hey!
Amazing! Really good! Josh shot Nick a glare, but Nick didn't seem to notice. Thanks! Fancy meeting you here? Paul Paul chuckled. It'll be nice to go as a group for once. These two were more than up for spending the festival with you. Aw, Syrian! Syrian has donated $3 and says, donating for Mai and her yukata. Thank you so much, Syrian. $3 more to the Shane route. I don't know what he's talking about, says Josh, the tsundere. Josh kicked the ground and Nick rubbed his neck sheepishly. I swallowed. Yeah, this will be fun. I was looking forward to it all day. God, poor Hana. My throat tightened. Smile, Hana, smile. This is fine too. So he didn't realize it was a date. Who cared? I was still spending the festival with him and with Josh and Nick. Besides. Yeah, this will be fun. So where are we going? Hey, Max! Thank you for subscribing and for continuing to support the fold, my friend. Psst. So, where are we going? I want to take you to the game booth. There's a stall that sells great cakes.
Yay!
Well, there's a bonfire every year. The three stopped and stared at each other. Zach! John! Oh my gosh, you guys! Well, thank you guys. Thank you for donating to me and also to charity. Zach, you're gonna get a little green badge now. You've moved on up to the green badge. Oh my god, Agent. Hello, young Flocka. So why not just do everything? I bit my lip. Mai told me that at the very end of the festival, everyone gathered around the bonfire and celebrated with a traditional flower blooming dance, something that was specific to Higanbana. Aw, nice green level, Zek! The charity is for Extra Life charity, which I think is the charity that, correct me if I'm wrong please, but it's a charity that donates games to kids in hospitals? Is that correct? It sounded fascinating and romantic, and that was what I wanted to do most of all. But I looked from Nick to Paul to Josh and my heart sunk. Yeah? There was no way it was going to be possible, not with all of them. No, for the good of the festival, it was my sworn duty to tucker them out before the dance came to pass. I set my chin, staring straight at them. Bring it on! 3 separate hands grabbed my wrist, and like that I was dragged across campus and into the neighboring fields of Higanbana. My god, can you imagine Hana being dragged by all 3 of these boys? Higanbana really was a nice, quaint little town. Primarily the home of the families who owned farms responsible for Asagao's fresh food supply and a healthy population of retirees, there was no need to stir up trouble or have gangs roam the street. Hey, Egg. If anything, judging from the way the townspeople passed from group to group, the most deadly thing they ever did was gossip and eat fried cheesecake. See, they bake the flowers into the cakes, and it's totally edible and safe and just the neatest thing, if you ask me. Nick giggled, shooting a look at Paul. He's excited about flower cakes. Isn't it cute?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the Josh of Alina coming out in him. Is it so hard to believe I can find cakes worth eating? There has to be some kind of good in the world, and I'm almost entirely certain these flower cakes are it. Oh, yeah, sure, definitely. I believe you. Josh has found the light. Josh huffed, crossing his arms. You guys are the real reason I'm like this. I giggled. But your grumpiness is exactly what everyone loves about you. That's why they tease you so much. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess so. That isn't that bad, is it? There are worse things. He paused at the entrance to his sacred cake stall, then turned to me. What do you want? Pick anything off the menu. I'll get it for you.
Really?
Really? Really? You're usually way more stingy than this, Josh. In fact, you still owe me for that coffee 3 weeks ago. Only you would hold that against me. Can I try the green tea sakura cake? Josh pursed his lips and ordered from the old lady at the stall. Yeah, are you enjoying your nice relaxation, Maya? You're just sheer enjoyment. She smiled kindly at me and my heart squeezed. She reminded me a little of my mom. Oh my god, Syrian, why would you do that? No! She held out the cake with a trembling hand, and Josh gently took it. When he paid her, she looked up at him in surprise. He put a finger to his lips and shook his head. Then he handed my cake to me. Josh, did you just... Nope, I didn't. I did nothing. But as we left the stall, the old woman waved joyously at us. The whole time, she hadn't said a word. I bit into the crumbling cake in my palm. Whoa! He. The cake melted into my mouth, leaving behind a soft perfume and a robust herbal taste. It had a very earthy, very natural feel, but in a way that was sweet and delicious as opposed to disgustingly healthy. Once a year. You can only get this once a year. It's tradition for me. Oh, I want a popsicle. Oh, man. Are you done? I want to go play games. Josh frowned but said nothing. This time Nick took the place at my side, skipping happily down the lanes. How any of the boys knew where to go to find what they wanted was beyond me. Every stall looked the same, and the savory smells floating through the air didn't help my distracted mind. Food descriptions? Could you guys taste the green tea sakura cake? I once had a little like flower-shaped green tea cake And I just tried to describe exactly what the taste of that was. Although I didn't like the taste of the green cake, but it was a very distinct taste. You trying to egg me on to get me popsicles, Zek? Here we are. Oh, Pony, that's adorable. It is not a harem route. There's just some harem aspects to it. Nick rounded a corner and I balked. Crane games? Right, they're the best. Nick clapped with glee and pulled out his wallet. I marveled at the fact that the tiny village of Hikanbana somehow managed to gather together enough power strips for an entire block of crane games on the outskirts of town. He approached a large pink number and pulled out several coins. Okay, Hana, I'm gonna need your absolute help. This one's timer goes a little fast, so you need to stand on the side of the machine and tell me how far back to push the crane to get that little puppy there. He pointed at a brown, confused-looking puppy. Can't you see it yourself? Ah, but the glass is warped, so you can't accurately tell your positioning. It's the oldest trick in the book. Ah, squid! Squid has donated $3 and says 1,555. Woo! Aw, yeah. Someday we'll get there. Hopefully not for a while. Woo! I nodded, secretly wondering whether Nick had a gambling habit, and squeezed between the pink machine and another, much hotter red one. Go! Nick pushed the crane forward and to the left, face almost pressed to the glass. Where am I? Go to the right a bit more? Here? Further! Here? Wait, go back a bit! We're almost out of... The crane descended, grabbing at the lonely puppy's torso. It got it! No. Watch. The crane lifted up and the weight of the puppy's giant head pulled him out of the claw. The claw floated back to the hole, dropping nothing as our prize. Well, if you two are done with this riveting performance. Also, Cold-Hearted Complaints, also known as Connor, has donated $4 and says nothing. Thank you, Connor. Again.
Really?
What?
Yeah!
That's the spirit, Hana! Y'all, I love crane games. I'm obsessed with crane games. I have gotten so many stuffed animals from crane games. In the end, it took Nick $7 to pull that little puppy out of the crane. Yay! When it finally dropped into the hole, adrenaline shot through my body and I screamed like a banshee, pulling Nick into a giant hug. It's just a stupid puppy. Hana, I want it for you. Oh my god, these boys, please help their souls. What? No, I couldn't. I couldn't have won it without you. Just take it. He shoved it into my hands and took several steps away, taking a sudden but intense interest in a tiny flower on the side of the road.
All right.
My secret is exactly that, looking from the front and the side. Right. To the bonfire, then. Ah, man, Sir Karina, you're right. You caught... Ah, man, you're right. No! You caught... Oh, man. I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. This is an abomination. $7. Paul's FF. That's an abomination. It's fine. It's fine. There were a lot of little stuff like that slipped through the cracks. And I already saw a typo in chapter 1 and I was like, excuse me, I worked very hard to not have any typos here. The bonfire was huge, much bigger than I ever expected. Apparently the whole town gathered together in the weeks before the festival, selecting trees that had already died or were in perilous, potentially harmful positions, and cut them down to form this immense fire. Eating grass. Eating grass does not count. Eating grass was an intentional typo. I love eating grass. Oh my god. It's so funny. I'm sorry. It's not funny to laugh at your own jokes, but I think it's hilarious. I stepped up to it, warming my hands. I'm pretty sure that I still have... Yeah. I still got it. Now that we were no longer near the stalls, the bonfire and the stalls were a moderate distance away from each other so as not to potentially kill people, the night chill enclosed us. I still got it. It was nice to have the fire like a force field beating the chill back. I see you also enjoy bonfires. Oh, Callie Malone, thank you for following and enjoy your apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Of course, who doesn't enjoy seeing the awesome, malicious power of fire? I hate the smell of smoke. Shut up, Josh. I wasn't sure what we were supposed to do by the fire, but it seemed Paul hadn't wanted to do anything. Instead, we stood in a circle, talking about the school, the local legend, anything that popped into our heads. Which one was the Caroline? I'm not, they're all Carolines right now, I'm not. At some point, Josh and Nick found sticks on the ground and started sword fighting, making laser noises with their mouths. Paul and I watched from afar. Not going to join them? Nah, man, I hate the smoke. It makes my hair just smells like smoke, and my hair is so dang long that it's all I can smell. It's everywhere. It's in me. I hate smoke smell. Not going to join them? Why, thank you, Zach. Not this time. Their duels are a long-running grudge. There's no way I'm getting involved in that. The battle grew more and more heated. Get it? Heated? Okay. Nick broke Josh's stick, and Josh found a much longer, sturdier one, almost like a mini log? No longer able to defend himself, Nick acrobatically dodged the stick with a series of complicated flips and twists that seemed like it should have made it easier for Josh to hit him than harder, but okay, whatever worked. It wasn't until Nick skirted dirt off the ground and into Josh's eyes that I felt the need to step in. Ow! What the fuck, Nick? Okay, guys, let's calm down here. Josh hurled his mini log blindly towards the sound of my voice, and I shrieked. Paul grabbed me and yanked me out of the way so that instead of hitting me, it hit the edge of the bonfire and was set alight. Oh my god, I'm going blind! Why did... The flames trailed down the log and onto the ground, where the dry grass started to pick it up. Paul! Fire! Oh my god, fire! Mr. Saitomo, the fourth-year teacher, showed up out of nowhere with a leather jacket and started beating the flames with it. At some point, Miss Shizuka ran up and kicked the log aside so that it wasn't tracking more flames from the bonfire. Between Mr. Saitomo's jacket flailing and Miss Shizuka's stomping, the fire was quickly put out. I waved the smoke away from my face, coughing up a storm. Hana. Boys. Paul held up his hands in surrender. Understood. We're leaving. Nick pulled Josh up by his arm, apologizing softly for getting carried away, and together the four of us headed back to campus. Nobody seemed particularly bothered by nearly burning down an entire festival and possibly killing hundreds of people. Instead, we stood around in a circle, joking quietly with each other about stupid things. Time passed and my yawns became more and more frequent. Seeing this, Paul clapped his hands together. You don't know what the chalk means to Miss Shizuka, okay? For all we know, Miss Shizuka's chalk is a talisman that she uses she throws it up into the air and it clatters onto the ground, pointing the way directly to her next lover. That is my hypothesis about Miss Shizuka's chalk. I think it's about time we head back. Don't you guys? Wrapped up in an argument about love triangles and modern romances. I didn't think Nick and Josh even heard him, but the lower half of their bodies turned and walked them to Bluebell House, their eyes never leaving each other's faces. I expected Paul to follow, but instead he dawdled at my side, staring up at the stars. Aren't you gonna head back in with them? Chalk's own character. Oh man, Sailor Shizuka! That would be so cool! Well, while we were going through the festival, it occurred to me that maybe, perhaps, you hadn't wanted me to bring them with me. I laughed half-heartedly and Paul snapped. Paul did again, didn't I? No. I mean, I had fun anyways. Even if this wasn't the first date I thought it'd be. I felt stupid for getting so worked up, for getting so worked up. But as far as flower festivals went, this was certainly one of the better ones I'd had. I mean, it was the only one, but... Drums started beating in the distance. The bonfire flickered more than usual, and when I looked up I saw people gathering around it, the beginnings of the traditional dance and swing. I watched them enviously. There was no way I was going back there now, not after nearly burning down the festival, but that didn't stop me from wanting to join in. Suddenly a hand wrapped around my waist. Suddenly a hand... listen, I'm gonna have a hard time reading this out loud. Suddenly a hand wrapped around my waist, another lifting my arm. Paul? Paul chuckled softly, swaying to the beat of the song. It seemed like this was something you wanted to do. Was I right? I nodded, blushing horribly. His hand was warm in mine, and it was incredibly hard not to think about how physically close we were to each other. Not just our faces, but our whole bodies. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are freaking out! I had never been so close to a man before. Gingerly, I lifted a hand to his shoulder. He smiled when I touched him, gazing deeply into my eyes. This is too much intimacy for me. Blue. I looked away. What were people supposed to do when they were dancing with an attractive person? Just stare at them? It was way too close. Way too close for comfort. Nick and Josh are nice. I winced. I threw out the first thing that popped into my mind, desperate for something to allay the sudden tension. But if anything, it made it worse. Paul chuckled again. Yeah, we've been together for years at this point. They're almost like brothers to me.
Really?
Really? We met in film club back in elementary school. Oh, you mean like Hana's like panic is super relatable? Your elementary school had a film club? Yes? He answered the question with such genuine confusion that I instantly shut up. Different worlds. We lived in different worlds. Well, first Nick and Josh were friends. I knew them, but we didn't hang out much. In middle school, Nick and I ended up working on a project together, and the three of us and my friend Dawn, we were inseparable. Dawn? Yeah, we were really close. We made this plan that all four of us would attend Asagao together, and he got in, but long story short, his parents refused to send him. Thought we were bad influences, I guess. Paul shrugged, my hand raising with his shoulders. But then we all decided to stick together. We wanted to do some film stuff here, but Asagao really lacks support for clubs. That was one of the reasons I wanted to become class president. Right now, they can change the rules for clubs without a backward glance, and clubs have to provide their own funding. Apparently, because our parents are rich, Asagao doesn't have to support our extracurricular needs. I spelled extracurricular wrong. Paul rolled his eyes. Man, it's a fake person. It's a fake person, not based on anybody at all. Not based on anybody. Nobody is who are you talking about? In the meantime, we started continuing the newspaper and use it for everything, really. Or we did, right up until the election last year. Now it's more functional than fun, but I guess that's just how things go. So, you guys really want to work with film?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's our big passion. Or I guess we have lots of passions, but that's a big one. That's one of the reasons why the student council presidency is important to me. Paul jerked his head to the side. I followed his gaze, but he was staring out into the darkness. Paul? The drum stopped. The song's over. I realized that the darkness he was looking at was where the bonfire once stood. They put it out. The festival was over. Paul and I stepped away from each other, and suddenly the cold night air surrounded me. I shivered.
Hey.
You should get inside. Don't want to catch a cold. I nodded. Thank you for this. I don't think you pulled it this year. Paul laughed.
Really?
Really? Well, then I'm glad. 1 out of 4 ain't so bad, is it? I shook my head, smiling, and he shooed me inside. Bangin' at Asagao. Psha! Nah. Psh, ploops. Nah. Psh. I feel like if Hana was this nervous about physically touching a boy, actually banging someone would cause her to explode into little tiny Hana chunks. Alright, so maybe the flower festival wasn't exactly what I thought it would be. Maybe it wasn't my first date, but I had my first dance with a guy and I had a wonderful time. As I put Nick's plush puppy on my desk, I smiled. I could settle for that. Man! Oh, look, we're on Paul's route. Man, my dorm didn't give us any free stuff like that. It's because I'm from Kansas. Psh. Little tiny Hana chunks. Gross. I and I were heading to our classroom early the next morning when I saw Paul stopped in the hallway, staring at the wall. At the sight of him, my heart fluttered. Oh, she's got a crush. Falling in love by seeing her twerking on the bathroom door, but okay. Hana? Mai followed my gaze. Ooh, I see how this is. Listen, guys. Hana's flusteredness had to be based off of something, am I right? Well, don't mind me. I'll be waiting for you in class. She gave me a wink and a nudge towards Paul. What? They had condoms in your vending machines? What kind of college did you go to? Did you guys do any learning, or was it just a banging factory? Like, what's happening? Mai, I told you it wasn't like that. It was a group date. And it's not. Kind of. Except for that bit at the end. See you later. She disappeared through the staircase door, and I was left staring at the back of Paul's neck.
Hey.
Sorry. I was like, staring at the back of and then I'm like, the backs of boys' necks. Nice. Hey, Paul. Paul jumped and turned around.
Hey.
What? Why are y'all getting all this free sex ed stuff, man? Why didn't come on. Man, I don't know, man. My years at college were not even relatively, they were like completely sexless. So I don't know what y'all are talking about. I mean, I know that Kansas goes back and forth between teaching evolution and teaching creationism in science classes. So we probably go 100% hard no on helping people service their banging needs because it's Kansas. But like, man, I don't know. I almost had that. I almost went to Vassar. I was almost there. Financial aid. It was actually more like the college that I went to. They were like, we'll pay for all of your college and a little extra. And I was like, extra? And I was like, I'll go to your college. Hey, Hana. Man, you guys, like, what is it? What is this? I mean, I'm really happy that you guys had great sex ed classes. That's amazing. I had to teach my very first boyfriend how periods worked. So I'm glad that you guys had sex ed classes. I'm just jealous. Man. He sighed and turned back to the wall. Are you okay? You don't seem very happy. Look. I looked over his shoulder at what was on the wall. A neon blue poster proudly proclaimed, "Space Hamster for President!" Small captions underneath read in garish highlighter yellow, "Together, we'll rocket into space."
What?
What? Right, 2H? That's exactly what happened in my school. They were like, okay, now the boys have to go because we gotta teach them how girls work, and like, boys can't know that for some reason. Jeff's running for president. Things aren't looking good. Man, listen, I'm glad, you know what? A toast to the fact that in some places, they do sex ed right. Nothing like green tea. Jeff is president. What would ever possess him to think that was a good idea? Your health class was part of a lawsuit? That sounds fascinating. Not that Jeff wasn't a great guy. I mean, in all of my time of knowing him, I had no reason to suggest he wasn't. It was just that, well, a position of personal responsibility over a large segment of the student population, several of which were complete idiots, and the myriad valid perspectives and differing opinions he had to entertain while making decisions. It just didn't make any sense. You'll be able to beat him easily, right? Yeah, I heard something like that was about what I heard, Eon. It was like They made us sign a pledge, an abstinence pledge in my freshman health class, which, to be fair, I 100% upheld. But, like, I didn't necessarily have a choice. But they made us sign the abstinence pledge and, like, put it up on our wall and like, framed it in front of the whole school so everybody knew who lied about pledging abstinence. I mean, you're outgoing, charismatic, funny. You've got all the qualities of a good leader, and I feel like you're a natural politician.
Yay!
Yes, Len. The answer is yes. Reminder that we don't get aggressive towards Joff during the route because it's just a character thing. We respect the real people, and therefore don't get really mean about it. This has been a PSA from Maya. Thank you, Maya. Let's all be nice to Joof. Paul chuckled. There were people who refused to sign. The people around me refused to sign it, and like, I'm not joking. The teacher like stood up at the front of the class watching everybody, and when the people didn't sign, the teacher was like, "Okay, if you want to go to hell." I was like, "What the hell is like? What? You can't just what? What are you doing? Get out of my health class!" Like, let's go back to watching PSAs about how marijuana has 40 cigarettes in it or something, and even that was a lie. Everything about my health class was a lie. I had one teacher who was like a really good health teacher in 8th grade, and she was like a good health teacher because like occasionally she'd be like, and she would like close the door and she'd be like, "Okay, I am not supposed to tell you guys this, but you can use condoms. Here's what they look like and here's how you use them." And she would very sneakily tell us how sex works while the door was closed, and then like people would open the door and be like, "What are you doing in here?" And she'd be like, "Oh, no, we were just somebody had a private question that they wanted to ask." And that was how we got away with it. Bless that teacher. She was doing the Lord's work, teaching teenagers how to have sex. Thanks for saying that, but I don't think I can take this lightly. Your sex ed class had a rainbow dick? God, what was I missing? Wow, I hope that substitute teacher didn't get hired. You can jokingly be mean to Jeff, but like, no real hostility, please. Jeff is my friend. Jeff is a formidable opponent. He might not look it, but he's got a calming presence. When a group of people are confused, they look to him for guidance. He strongly appeals to the youth of this generation. This generation? You're talking like you're way older than us. Anyway, I'll definitely have to step up my game if I want to win. Just putting up posters won't be enough. It looks like this is going to be a long battle. A battle for the hearts and minds of the people! How cool! I beamed at him and he cocked an eyebrow. Are you teasing me? What? Me? No, I'm just, okay, I'm teasing you a little bit, but I also think it's really cool. I'd never be able to run for president. I'm always the person in the background doing the weird things like organizing schedules and filing papers. I'd never be able to stand in front of a crowd and try to get them to trust me. That takes some gusto.
Seriously?
Knowing you, this will be a competition to look forward to. Ha! He chuckled and rustled my hair. Hey! I patted it back down, glaring at him. Thanks, Hana. You cheered me up. You should head to class, though. Can't have you missing class on my account. Okay, try not to worry too much about it. I will. I waved to him as I left, but just before I reached the stairwell, I glanced back at him. He was still staring at the poster, rubbing his neck as though he had a headache. I hoped he wasn't going to stress about it too much. As soon as I took my seat, a familiar shock of red hair and green eyes obstructed my view. Hana! So tell me, how'd it go? Schutzpah. I told you there was nothing romantic. He was worried about Jeff running for president, so... At the sound of Jeff's name, Ian glanced at us from across the room. I instantly shut up.
What?
Jeff's running for president? Why on earth would he do that? Night, Pony. Happy birthday, Ian. Let's not talk about this now. The important thing is you're overthinking things. Schutzpah? Is it not pronounced Schutzpah? Man, I'm only German. I'm not Jewish. If that's Jewish. I don't really know what it is. I think it's Jewish. My side then immediately perked back up. Fine, if you say so. I still think there are some feelings. Think what you want. You're delusional. We returned to our seats and I got my stuff ready for class, thinking all the while. Delusional. Yes, Mai was being delusional. Delusional. Schutzpah! Then I'm right-ish. I'm half right. I'm half correct. I was laying awake in bed that night, for some reason unable to fall asleep. It was one of those times where no matter what I did, something was wrong. It was too hot, it was too cold, my pajamas too restrictive. I trailed the rungs of my bed above me with my toes, waiting for a sleep fairy to magically whisk me to her land of slumber. And there came a knock on our door. It was a soft knock, a secretive one, and I sat up quietly, unsure of whether I heard it. Chutzpah. 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 No, there it was again. I stood and quietly padded over to the door, doing my very best not to wake Mai. I mean, okay, so we can add schutzpah to my list of orchard and whatever's the other word I always get wrong when I say it. I pulled open the door a hair, peeking out to see who it was. Chutzpah. An excited Paul stood in the doorway, drumming his hands on his pants like a kid about to go on a roller coaster. I opened the door fully.
Oh.
Paul, what are you doing here? You're going to be in so much trouble if people find out about this. Schutzpah? Anna? Mazel tov. Paul grabbed my hands and held them to his chest, eyes glittering. I'm pretty sure someone does that in, like, Spirited Away or something. Or no, Kiki does it in Kiki's delivery service and her hair flies up. It's good. It's great. I know how I'm gonna beat Jeff, and you're going to help me. What? It's a boy talking to a girl in the girls' dormitory trying to get into her bedroom in the middle of the night, Eon. He released my hands and began pacing the narrow space in front of my doorway. It must only be sex. I pulled the door closed so as not to wake Mai. It seemed like this could take a while. Nick, Josh, and I are all fantastic people. This is something that simply cannot be argued.
Oh, I know that.
We're charismatic, charming, destructive. We've got a nice triple hit combo with my guidance, Nick's positive humor, and Josh's dour but hilarious perspective. We're everything people want in friends, but we're not what people want in a leader. Not yet. Zen. We need a strategist, a social center, a female perspective. Where could we find these things? How many people could we trust enough to handle our delicate humor? Who wouldn't turn on us the first time we wreaked havoc upon their lives? He whirled to face me, an outstretched finger at my throat. That's where you come in. Paul, I don't know. You're kind, you're contemplative, you're intelligent, you understand the female perspective, and you bring a new view of life at Asagao that we couldn't share. That, and you're mysterious. A transfer student suddenly appearing at school, a girl with pink hair and access to the school's most popular and influential men. I don't know how you did it, but you've got everyone's eyes on you. My shoulders hunched and I tried to ease them away from my ears. I didn't know about that. Moreover, I didn't want that. I didn't want people's eyes on me. Paul, I think you're misunderstanding. I'm not any of those things. I would love to help out with your campaign, but I can't be part of the team. I'd be in the spotlight. I'd be responsible. I'm still new here. It's too much pressure, too much stress. What if I messed up and I really hurt somebody? What if I made life worse for people or wasted their time? It's too much for me to handle. I can't. Paul grinned.
I know, right?
That's exactly why we need you, Hana. Don't you see? We need you to level us out. We are altogether too quick to make decisions, too sure of ourselves. I envisioned a flawless, unopposed victory. Even when Jeff first told me he was running, I didn't expect him to gain a following. But today, as I was looking at his posters, I realized two things. First, he's serious about running. And second, the student body really feels like he could make a difference. More of a difference than I did this past year. He cast his eyes to the floor for an instant, momentarily sad. I wanted to ask why, but he was already back at it. So, will you join me? With you, I really think we can do it. I have to think about it. I have no idea how I feel about it right now. Paul's face fell for a second, then instantly brightened again.
All right.
Yes! That's exactly what I'm talking about! This is the caution and foresight we as a team require! Paul, keep your voice down. You'll cause a scandal. He cleared his throat, glancing nervously up and down the hall. Right. Anyway, I'm looking forward to hearing your answer. Did you want to know anything else before I left? Actually, there was a lot to consider here. If I joined, what would I be doing? Trailing after them and cleaning up their messes?
Yay!
Making flyers and the like? Cheering them on? Providing consultation? There was something else I wanted to know. Something that I wasn't sure I had the courage to ask. Was it just for the campaign that he wanted my help? Or was there something more behind it? We'd be able to spend a lot of time together after all. So what do you guys think? Should we ask what Hana's duties would be? Or should we ask, why did you pick me specifically? At this point, I'm leaving all choices up to you. It's up to you whether we get Paul's good ending. Maya, don't give it away. Paul, like, fully wants you. Ah, duties, you're right. Everybody take a drink. Is everybody saying to pick duties? Second one, easy? Macho Bravado is on for the second. Now, are you guys saying to pick duty, or are you just making fun of the word duty? Duties would be loving Paul. Both? Okay, listen, I'm confused. I'm gonna make a straw poll. I can't tell which one of you guys are being like teehee duties and which one of you guys are actually down. Duties? Duties. So the second will get us closer to Paul. Is this too much pressure? You don't want the bad end? You guys all are having too much pressure. Man, welcome to Hana's life. Now we're living her life. She's like, it's too much pressure for me. And now look. Real pressure situation. You're being teehee duties. The bad end is Paul dies of heartbreak, maybe. What? Oh my god! Oh my god, Beaufort! I'm gonna get to stream Final Fantasy VII! Beaufort Hermsherm has donated $13 for Final Fantasy VII and says, have a game. Thank you so much, Blurford Hermsherm. Oh man, don't feel bad, Beaufort. Don't feel bad at all. If Hana did it, so can we. Believe in that. Believe in the Hana that believes in you. Duties has won. So we will ask Paul what our duties would be. Have a germ. Have a germ. Man, I don't know. You give me a germ and my what's the word that I'm looking for? My... immunity is gonna go up. There we go. I'm smart. I know words. The duty is to take a drink. That's correct. Since y'all voted duty, I'm taking a drink. Ah, so dangerous, this tea. Good question, as expected of our Hana. I'm not your Hana. Yet. Oh my god, Paul, why are you doing this to Hana? Why are you doing this to her? You're being so mean right now. Do you even realize what you're doing? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm freaked out. He grinned, and even though I knew he meant it platonically, my heart skipped a beat. Yeah, mine too, Hana. I forgot I even wrote any of this. Anyway, you'd help us organize fundraisers and ways of reaching the student body, as well as help us decide our campaign strategy and counter any moves put forth by our opponent. I don't know. Ask the writer. Yeah, where is she? Oh, sorry. The old car can't come to the phone right now. 'Cause she's dead. Most of all, you'd have to keep us rational. Make sure we don't let our emotions get the best of us if something happens. Does he? What? Come on. Guys, I can't believe that I wrote this. Like, I feel like this is really forward for me. I don't know. Can you do that? Well, I'll give it some thought.
I'll support you.
Oh, Eon! Thank you again for subscribing! And welcome to the fold. Boom! What happened? Why are you saying that I died? What happened? Is the stream okay? Is the stream okay? Oh. Oh, okay. Nothing's wrong. Good. Thanks, Eon. Yeah, you also get to join the full Discord if you weren't already part of it. Oops. You stay there. I don't care about you. Just want to make you centered. Oh, the old car had died. Damn it, I don't even remember the things I've just said. Did I kill her, though? Yeah, it was a Taylor Swift song. It was a reference to the Taylor Swift song. Old car probably is dead, though. Immature jokes. I like your style. Thanks for following, and enjoy your apprenticeship. Paul nodded and clapped me on the back. I shivered. Hana needs to help herself. Thanks, Hana. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Soon. Leave already. More than just your campaign will be in trouble if you get caught here.
Alright, see ya.
Right. Be seeing you, Hana. And sweet dreams. Sure, Maya, what is your question? I honestly really like Taylor Swift's new video and song. I feel like she gets a lot of crap and people just kind of, because she's Taylor Swift, don't take her as seriously as other artists. I think she did fine. I picked Jeff. That came out because of a conversation that I had with Jeff, where I was talking about how there are different types of leadership styles. I was talking about how I felt like Jeff has a really balanced and level-headed approach to a lot of issues. Like, whenever I would have a problem and I would go talk to Jeff, he would be pretty, like, fairly rational and be like, well, I can see your perspective of this. Have you thought that the other person's perspective might be this? Like, do you think, like, this could be a thing? And kind of always equally weighing things out. And based on that, I was like, that's an interesting style of leadership that I feel like is valid and I would like to highlight. Aw, well, thank you, Eon. You can, if you link your Twitch into your Discord, you can join us in the Discord and party hardy. Yeah, look what you made me do. Is there another new song? I haven't seen the... If there's a video, then I've seen the song. If there's no video, then I don't care because I like Taylor Swift's videos a lot. I mean, I like her songs, but their videos are really cool usually. I nodded as I watched him stealthily jog down the hall and out of sight. I sighed. No doubt working on the campaign would be fun, and I would get to spend a lot of time with Paul. But was I really okay with torturing myself by hanging around a guy who clearly wasn't interested? And could I face my fears of being in the public's eye? I crawled into bed, finally tired enough to sleep. One thing was for sure. I needed Mai's opinion. Oh. It sounds perfect to me, Hana. Zek, have you played Paul's route? Maya and I sat at our desks before. Man, have you guys never been in unrequited? Unrequited. It's hard, okay? Ugh. Maya and I sat at our desks, but oh, okay. Well, no spoilers for Zekipu. Maya and I sat at our desks before class the next day. I quietly told her about Paul's midnight visit, and Maya, at first ecstatic about the potential for scandalous romance, quickly sobered. You were looking for a way to make more friends, right? Maybe this is the thing to do. I guess so. You don't need to play Johns. It's not that good. Maya popped a piece of gum into her mouth, the school newspaper open on her desk. It's just that I don't know if I'm strong enough to be able to handle that. It's clear that he's not interested in me, and I don't want to spend more time with him.
Bingo.
Maybe you'll just get over him by spending more time with him. Sometimes that happens, you know? They seem great until you spend all your time with them.
Really?
You think? Well, let's just say I see this as more likely in his case. I drummed my fingers on the desk. Maybe. I could at least learn to see him as a friend while on the council. Probably. It's just a crush after all. I'll get over it when I find someone else I'm interested in. I smiled at Mai, but she didn't even notice. Mai, are you even listening to me? Hana, you should read this. She tossed me the newspaper. The Continue news column blared off the page with the headline, Secret Weapon? My hands started to sweat as I read the words. Our current class president and 1/3 of the writing team for the Continue column, Paul Ritchie, has revealed that he has a secret weapon in store for this year's student council elections. The fight is tough this time around, Ritchie was quoted as saying, so I looked closely at our weaknesses and decided to enlist a bit of outside help. Students have professed worry over the balance of our team in more ways than one, and I'm happy to announce that this should ease their minds. Ritchie declined further questions, saying only, "You'll meet her when the time comes." I put the newspaper down, watching Mai. No wonder everybody was reading it this morning. Bet half of them think he's got a girlfriend. Oh no. Thank you, Eon. I put my head in my hands. Mai patted me on the back, nodding sadly. There's no way I can refuse now, not when he's already done this. Not unless he has someone else in mind. How could he do something like this? That's so manipulative. Mai's hand flew off my back and her eyes darted towards the door. Aw, Syrian. You're right, it does kind of look like an interesting tropical fruit, like gelato mix. You know what I'm saying? Like a sorbet. Maybe you should tell him that yourself. Paul entered our classroom, glancing around it quickly. When he saw me, he grinned and darted over. There you are, my dear. Oh boy, he was not helping the situation. Paul, how could you put this in the newspaper? I never told you yes. Right, yeah, about that. I kind of told Nick and Josh to get started on the article right before I went to talk to you. And see, the newspaper gets sent to the printers at midnight, and once it's sent, we can't make changes without paying for it out of pocket. So by the time I got back, it was already in the paper? He giggled uncertainly, and I resisted the urge to smack his arm. What are you gonna do if I say no? You're going to say no? A ripple of whispers shot through the classroom. I glanced around and suddenly noticed everyone's eyes on me and Paul. Of course, I should have known. I lowered my voice to a whisper, trying to look as casual and uninvolved as possible. Having a senior visit the classroom in the morning, specifically to see me. Heck, even most couples chose to meet outside so as not to draw attention. This was practically a declaration of intent to date, even if I knew Paul didn't see it that way. Was he really so thoughtless, or did he just not see me in that way so it never occurred to him others might feel we could be a couple? Either option depressed me. Look, we're making a scene. We should meet up after school to talk about it.
Alright.
Great idea, Hana. If I can't convince you then, you're free to say no. But where should we meet? Deep V's. He stroked his chin thoughtfully, then snapped his fingers.
Yeah.
I got it! I owe you an ice cream cone to make up for the one that I, ruined. So how about that? As our conversation grew quieter, the students crowded closer. Mimi was almost right behind Paul, with eyes like a devil. An ice cream date? Deal, so I'll meet you there after class. Speaking of, you should really get going. The bell will ring any minute. Hey, you're right. He tousled my hair affectionately and I instinctively shoved his arm away from me. See you then, Hana. That's what they do when they want to seduce Hana. Like, they come out of the bathroom and they're just wearing the sweater with the deep V and they're like, hey, hey. And it's like super effective. He left the room and I collapsed onto my chair. Oh my god. I'm glad that you guys are falling for his idiot charm. The second AA, thank you for following and enjoy your apprenticeship. Gradually, the stillness in the class returned to its regular pre-lesson commotion. Their dark looks still shot at me like curses. Mai whistled. Way to go, Hana. You're killing it. I know you said you didn't want to be in the spotlight, but it looks like you'll be there whether you want it or not. I sighed and threw my head down on my desk. Today was just not my day. Oh, God. I don't think that the solitary DP would work on me. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. You thought he would... Oh. Well, we don't know that he isn't. After class, I said goodbye to Mai and made my way to the cafeteria, feet dragging like blocks of ice. The second AA? Do people not usually say your name correctly? I'm sorry. I get that a lot in this chat. For all the world, I can't pronounce Schutzba, but I can pronounce people's usernames. For some reason, the slow trek felt like a death march. Part of me was saying goodbye to something. I watched the wind in the trees, smiled at the stressed faces of passing students. Yes, goodbye. It was a goodbye to life as I knew it. Thanks to Paul, everything was going to change. I had a good run, didn't I? Like grinning at trolling Plu.
I'll support you.
On up top! Thank you so much for subscribing! Welcome to the fold! Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Welcome to the fold! You can now also join the Discord if you link your Twitch and your Discord. I'm excited! Also, thank you for hosting. By the time I got to the shop, Paul was waiting for me. Along with a swarm of curious onlookers, all pretending to be there for food or some other activity. They peered from behind their notebooks and strolled through the aisles of the school shop, I straining to see past bags of chips and wrapped onigiri to Paul and me.
Hana!
Hey, Hana, glad you could make it. Yeah, me too. Paul led the way to counter. Paul led the way to the counter, where he ordered 2 vanilla ice cream cones with a dazzling smile. Then, after a brief pause, he looked at me. Wait, please cover one of those cones in sprinkles.
Yay!
Sprinkles! The cafeteria worker heard my cry and chuckled. When Paul received the cones, one was so drenched in sprinkles you couldn't even see the vanilla. I bounced excitedly on my heels. Careful not to drop this one. I'm not the one who should be worried about that. Ice creams in hand, Paul led us away from the usual Norman Boots Club table and to a table next to the window. We sat and soaked in the sunshine. It was a small change, but I had never seen the cafeteria from this angle. It made it feel special. Yeah, you like the emote? I love that. I'm so happy about that emote. The artist who did it was so good. I love it. So, Paul bit the tip off his ice cream and looked at me. I'm terrible at small talk when something's on my mind, so we'll skip it. Tell me how I can convince you to join the campaign. I slurped my ice cream, then chewed it thoughtfully. The sprinkles would definitely make my mouth look like a rainbow carnival. Note to self, try not to smile. What would make me feel comfortable joining the campaign? Man, I'm so glad that Paul is just like your type. I'm so glad that you were just enjoying this. Yes, Paul bit directly into the ice cream. What's your question? Yes, with his teeth. Oh, Matcha Bravado, thank you for hosting. Glad to be having you here, by the way. I don't know that I've seen you in here before. I kicked my feet aimlessly under the table, gazing out the window. Paul's just adorable. I know, Maya, I have a huge soft spot for, like, really stupid, well-intentioned men. It's a thing. The temptation of spending time with Paul, exactly as we were now, was already something in his favor. but I really had no confidence I could be of any help. Asterisk, they have to be extremely competent at something. Anything. I barely knew Asagao, and people didn't care about me the way Paul seemed to think they did. Well, maybe now they knew my name, but it wasn't a positive association. Not for the girls, anyways. Oh, hey, Egg, thanks for hosting, too! I didn't know most things about how the student government worked, or how it helped the school, or what the needs were. Was it even a position that could affect change? Paul was watching me carefully, his breath held. As I gazed into his face, I realized I was missing a key component of the campaign. Why do you want to be president?
Well,
Ah. Paul tapped his nose as if I asked the question. I totally understand, right? I feel you, man. I feel you. I feel you. Oh yeah, who was it, Toolbox? See, I'm not some great philanthropist or anything. I don't think I can claim to have an unabashed, indiscriminate desire to do whatever I can to make the world a better place. When it came down to it, if I had to choose between taking care of my friends or taking care of strangers, I'd pick my friends first. I'm compassionate, but I'm not a martyr. Let's get that out of the way first. He furrowed his brow, rolling his neck out. This question is so hard. Every time I answer it differently. It's just that it matters so much, I don't know if I can give one answer that comes close to how I feel about it. Okay. He set his hand down on the table, tapping it rhythmically as he voiced his thoughts. Shane? Oh, okay. Okay, well, alright. So let's say you want to make some kind of difference. And you have the whole entire world to go about doing that in, right? There's lots of stuff going on everywhere. Climate change, poverty, the literacy rate, water access. There's so much one person can do. One person can't do all of it. You have to pick and choose your battles. Right now, my world is a lot smaller. You drew a tiny circle on the table. Right now, my world is Asagao and the Normal Boots Club. And while I was here years prior, I would walk around and see how ineffectual our student government was. Like, it was just a title. The people who ran it got perks like skipping class, but they didn't feel any responsibility to the student body. If you've noticed, all cultural activities are put on by the students of their own choosing. Jared's fashion show, John's play. And there was this major communication gap between teachers and students. Students were literally going mad with stress. Mr. McPasta used to sleep for only 4 hours a night. He was working so hard dealing with all of us. And it wasn't like I was looking for a way to make the world better or anything. I just looked around and thought, hey, this isn't right. And I talked to Nick and Josh, and we came up with all these ideas for how it could be better. We were sitting there in our room congratulating ourselves for having figured out all these solutions, feeling really good about it and everything, and finally one of us just goes, why don't we actually do it then? Paul leaned back, his hand sliding into his lap. He seemed relieved. So we did. That's how it happened. Wait, what was the question again? I pointed silently to the ice cream cone he'd set on the table, which was now forming a puddle on the laminate surface. Paul cursed and started licking around the cone, bent down like a dog. I threw some napkins on the table, then bit into my cone, watching him lap up the vanilla. Shane's theme is Rude Boy by Rihanna. Ayy. So this was our student council president. I bit into the cone again. So undignified half the time. So unintentionally destructive. So gung-ho that I didn't even notice how his failures messed with the rest of us. I sighed and popped the rest of the cone into my mouth. Paul was drinking the vanilla out of his increasingly soggy cone, our conversation forgotten. I clasped my hands on the table. I'll do it.
What?
What? You will? You don't even know what my platform is yet. I mean, I haven't really made it, but... It's fine. I'll do it. I want to help you. Paul raised an eyebrow at me, clearly confused about my sudden change of heart. I shook my head. I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Well? Good! Great! In that case, we were planning to have a meeting tomorrow during lunch to get a strategy going. Good night, Ian. I'll be there. I smiled sadly at him. Are you sure you're okay? You don't seem really happy about this. I drummed my fingers against the table, wondering how to explain what just happened. Have you ever just kind of had something drop into your lap that you couldn't turn away no matter how you felt about it? I don't think so. I shrugged. It's hard to explain, but there was no way I could refuse. I need to be on this campaign with you. I just do. Paul stared at me in shock. Then a small smirk quirked his lips. Well, well, I knew there was something special about you. He was clearly impressed with me, and it pricked me. I scanned the cafeteria, noting the people hovering just out of earshot. I don't think anybody ever did. Maya? I think I'm gonna head out. Okay, I'll walk you back. Paul gathered up the soggy napkins and stood, but I held out my hand. Please don't. Anna? I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Aw, good night, Beaufort. I left him standing there in the cafeteria, quickly running through the hovering people and out into the sunshine, gasping for air. The sun was setting. That conversation must have taken longer than I thought. I jogged back to the dorms, trying hard not to think about what happened, trying very hard to ignore the sinking feeling that hit my stomach as I listened to him speak. But there was nothing for it. The damage was done. I walked into my room, hoping desperately Mai would be at practice or busy with something, but... Hana! You have to tell me everything. How'd it go? Is he into you? Are you on the campaign? Man, you're gonna kick total ass. I just know it. I knew you were destined for greatness. Mai grabbed my hand, jumping up and down. I avoided her eyes.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's wrong with you? I threw down my bag next to my desk and tried to take off my shoes with my feet. One came off easily, but the other, the right one, caught on my ankle just like it always did. I tied the laces too tight once, and I never bothered to fix them when I put them on, so it always happened when I went to take them off, and now I was standing there like a dilapidated penguin, and all I wanted was this stupid shoe off! Ugh! I threw myself on the floor and ripped the shoe off with my hands. Mai watched me in silence.
I'll support you.
The second double A is now bound by the fold. You subscribed. Thank you so much for subscribing, double A. Oh my gosh. You are also welcome to join the Discord if you link your Twitch and your Discord together. Welcome to the fold. I put my head in my hands, covering my face, breathing deeply, trying hard not to let it show, trying very hard not to let it show. Hana, are you okay? I shook my head slowly. Did you join when you didn't want to?
What a jerk!
Or did he do something bad to you again? I wiped my face with a hand. No, that's the problem. I took a deep breath again, not wanting to talk while I was crying, but it was too late. How does crying lines give me problems? That sentence opened the floodgates, and I started sobbing on the floor. Hello, Brielle. What happened then? Mai flew to my side, rubbing my back. Whatever happened, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure he didn't mean it, or you'll do great, or... I buried my head in her shoulder, shaking my head. I'm just being a baby. It's not really a bad thing at all. I just didn't want it to happen. I didn't think it would happen. I didn't know it could happen this way. How long are you going to talk around this? Just tell me what happened. I pulled my head back so I could see her face. It wasn't something I wanted to admit. I didn't even know how to admit it. It was something that had never happened before. But while sitting there and listening to Paul, listening to the plain and utter compassion he had for people, listening to how passionately he wanted to be the student council president and how he came to that decision. As he spoke, I felt a terrible sinking feeling in my stomach. I'd looked out the window then. The cherry blossom tree that had been blooming during the flower festival was losing its petals, and I watched another fall to the ground in slow motion. So this is what it feels like, I thought. I'm in love with Paul, and I don't even understand how it happened. Mai's hands froze for a second. Then she started rubbing my back yet again. I waited for her to tell me that I was blowing things out of proportion or jumping to conclusions, but she said nothing. Aww. Aw, thank you for the extra effort, Double A. That's awesome. When I looked up at her, she was shaking her head, staring at the wall.
Well...
That's just how things fall sometimes, Hana. I will say that I do very strongly believe that it is very quick. It is 100% quick. And actually, no, I don't want to comment on it any more than that. It was very quick. I'm very curious to hear people's perspectives on that. It was very quick. At some point, I was able to calm myself and look at the situation realistically. Feelings were feelings, and I couldn't control them. At some point, they'd pass or go away, and if they didn't, I'd find a way to deal with them. Besides, I had no way of knowing whether this was truly love. I'd never experienced it before, after all. I was going on my gut instinct, but plays had been written about why teenagers trusting their gut instinct was a terrible idea. I managed to make it through class the next day with my sanity intact. When the bell rang, I stood from my chair, and Mai gave me a huge thumbs up. I nodded, but otherwise ignored her. I didn't need a thumbs up. I needed sanity. As I headed through the hallway, I began to notice something weird. People were pointing at me, shocked looks on their faces like I was wearing a blood-red clown nose. That's her. Doesn't look like much. I bit my lip. Was this because I was helping with a campaign? It seemed like an odd thing for people to be so concerned about. Maybe Paul was right and this really was a good publicity move? It wasn't until I stepped outside and saw the newspapers in the rack that I understood. President dating campaign assistant? We received an anonymous tip that Hana Mizuno, the third-year transfer student from Amaririsu, is the secret weapon that Paul Ritchie spoke of. However, sources are divided on how this weapon is supposed to function. It appeared they were engaging in a human activity one would call a date or an outing, our anonymous source reported. Perhaps she gives him the moral strength required to operate in a civilly unjust society. Regardless of the motive, one thing is certain. This couple has caught the public's eye. Here's hoping for a happy ending! I flung the newspaper back on the rack and stalked towards the cafeteria, mind racing. Continue runs the continue section of the newspaper. They do not run the entire newspaper. This was not what I wanted to happen. This was the opposite of what I wanted to happen. So why was I smiling so much? Fuck you, Hana. Fuck you. I got my ham and bologna sandwich, which I didn't feel like eating anything more complicated, and scanned the lunchroom for the section that had the most frenzied activity. As expected, Paul, Nick, and Josh were at that table, grinning at me. I went to meet them, contemplating how I should bring up the newspaper article. You guys don't think that Asagao has a gossip section? The newspaper is a student run. As I sat down, they cleared their throats. I'm Paul. I'm Nick. And I'm Josh. And welcome to our campaign team! From beneath the table, they drew out small confetti poppers and pulled them. Confetti sprang onto my face, small clouds of smoke drifting across the tabletop. We're glad to have you! Yes, truly glad, truly blessed. You have no idea how much this means to us. To me in particular. I am sure you'll be a very valuable asset. Your perspective is highly valued. Josh nodded to himself, and Nick shot him a glare. I dusted the confetti off of my head, glaring at them.
Yay!
Aw, good night, Max. Sure, Squid. Where up is it? Oh my god. Well done, Squid. You know, okay, I can see how this could be appealing and like, I can see how that could be a thing that you would be like down for. I can see it now. I get it. I feel it. I get it. So, about the campaign. I'm sorry, my friend Kate is like live texting me the stream and her comments are really funny. So, about the campaign. Right, there's something I need to tell you. Part of the reason my remaining president is so important is because last year I implemented a 2-year plan. I laid the groundwork for students to be able to petition Asagao Academy for school funding for various interests. Then I spent all of that year challenging decades-old legislation that prevented, certain groups from fully expressing themselves, I'll say. It took forever, but it got done. This year is the year we're actually going to do something with that legislation by throwing school-wide festivals and holidays to learn about and celebrate all sorts of different things, including the tournament. He grinned broadly at me. There's other stuff than just the tournament in there, right? Oh yeah, lots of genuinely important stuff, but I wanted to throw us all a bone too. We're lucky it falls on a Saturday this year. Last year, we had to create a distraction because Jared couldn't afford to skip a day of class. I convinced Mr. Saitomo I was a rare breed of werewolf that turns in broad daylight, and we had to get Mr. McPasta to help us. Why on earth would Mr. McPasta help with that? Nick shrugged. He's a weird dude, but he's a nice guy. If it's for a laugh, he'll do it. I think he just wants to see the reaction. Plus, he seems kind of into stuff like that. Nick jerked a thumb across the cafeteria, and I saw Mr. McPasta peering closely at a string of raw beef, a malicious grin on his face. So, we've been trying to decide on our strategy this year, but we haven't got any idea what to do. See, Josh pushed forward, setting his hands on the table and staring me down like a lion. If you ask me, we need to leave people alone. Keep the whole election on the down low, meeting our competition's campaign efforts, but never exceeding them. We want the election to fall away from people's minds, so that when the ballot rolls around, they go with a comfortable face.
Yay!
That's a terrible idea. Huh. We need to win their hearts, not hope they forget we exist. If we can make them like Paul, if we can make them think he would be a cool dude to get a drink with or someone they can relate to, they're bound to vote for him because they'll trust how he runs things. I thought we should talk about actual platforms. Tell people what we're planning on doing. You did that last year, and because of all that legislation, you don't have much to show for it. We can't do that or they won't believe you. Your plan is basically the same thing. They'll still think you won't be able to do anything. People want to stick with the status quo, and if we play our cards right, we can use that to our advantage. I don't want to manipulate anybody either, and I don't like sitting and waiting for stuff to happen. I like to be proactive. Yeah, too proactive. Ouch, that hurts! I watched them bicker between themselves, waiting for a lapse in the conversation so I could get a word in edgewise, but one never came. After 7 minutes of watching them tread the same ground, I raised a timid hand.
Hana!
Right, Hana! You're the level-headed one. This is exactly what we wanted you for. What should we do?
What?
Wait, now I'm in charge of the decision? Paul nodded and pointed at me. It was clear the ball was in my court. Alright, guys. We're doing this another straw poll. There's no way we're not doing the straw poll. Paul, Nick, or Josh's ideas. Which one we going for? I love making people decide things. So what do you guys think is the best campaign strategy? Or the best dating strategy? Or both? Or neither? Blue wants people to vote for Paul's platforms. Ooh, it is equally split between Win Hearts and Minds and Talk platforms, so we're gonna have to wait for somebody to break that tie. You didn't study for this test. Pretty evenly split. I like that. I like seeing that it's a hard decision. You're not wrong, Toolbox. I don't know, Cliff. You tell me. The true answer is to go to sleep and tell them in 2 days. Hashtag my decision making. I'm tired. Me making decisions. I'm tired. Go away. Is this a stressful decision? Talk platforms is winning by a single vote. A single vote. I'm gonna put this in the chat one more time and wait a couple of minutes to see if anything changes. They're sitting right in front of us. They need an answer now. Tree instead of the. Date Nick instead? Whoa, shots fired. Really, Toolbox? That's awesome! Man. That's awesome. You must really like talking about trees, AA. 55 people staring at continue in the cafeteria. Alright, let's see what the results are. Alright, Win Hearts and Minds is... Did they just switch positions? Win Hearts and Minds is now winning by 2 votes. Talk Platforms. 2 less. Logic says agree with Paul because he's technically the target, but from a dating point of view, Hearts and Minds makes more sense as a philosophy. Keeps equaling out, but then Platforms goes up by 1? Yeah, it switched now. Cliff, honestly, I've thought about that. I've contemplated even doing timers on a choice in the new VN. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it. Actually, maybe they're... Oh, that would be... Oh, it would be really good if... in that instance. Ooh. I'll talk to Danny and we'll see what she thinks about it. And now it's going back up. Win Hearts and Minds is only winning by 1 vote. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys until the end of my timer, and then whatever is done when my timer goes off, it's gonna go on for a minute. That's what we're going with. As I, like, struggle to get my timer up. Bam! Watches are useful. I'll remember this idea. When it comes to my own stories, I have a really good... I'm really good at remembering things, thankfully. It's fine, Cliff. I'll remember this one for sure. It's been something that I've been thinking about for a lot. Luke helped me yesterday figure out something about the shy character that I said I was struggling with last week, which is very good because I think I can finally get over the block I was having with her route. Oh, there it goes. Alright, and it appears that Winning Hearts and Minds has won out. Congratulations, Nick. Boop. Ha! I knew mine was the best strategy. Aw, thanks, Bill Nye. I shrugged apologetically at the other two. I didn't like being put on the spot like that. Having to make decisions all of a sudden wasn't my strong suit. I guess, yeah, we could have like a streaming version enabled where the timer is disabled. Moreover, having to choose between people was not something I liked to do, even if they themselves weren't taking it to heart. Strategy is always, after all. As I watched, Paul, Nick, and Josh started discussing tactics for the tournament. Well, Nick's really good at grabs for some reason, so if the other person gets into close combat, we won't be able to tag out fast enough. By then they'll have scooted away. Then maybe I should go in first instead of you? I ate my sandwich slowly and gazed across the cafeteria. Maya and the rest of the Normal Boots crew were laughing about something. Maya was inching closer and closer to Jared with each passing second. She reached up to tap him on the shoulder and he swerved away to talk to Shane as if he didn't even notice. Well played, Jared. You think, Hannah? Huh? You weren't listening, were you? Josh sighed heavily, then rubbed his temples. I can't work with this. I can't work with her. Paul wants you to go with him to the interview.
What?
Interview? It's on PB&J, so it's not a big deal. It'll be exactly like hanging out with the guys, don't worry. Paul, I really don't think I should. I'm not good at that kind of thing. Of course you are. Don't count yourself out before you even try. I'm not. I know how I get in front of crowds. It's really not for me. Paul rolled his eyes. I'm sure you'll be great if you give it a try. It's not even a crowd, it's just two guys. Please listen to me.
All right.
It's decided. You're coming with me. A shiver passed down my spine. Why weren't they listening to me? Just before I was the only one who could decide on things and now my opinion didn't count? I stared at my plate. I wasn't hungry anymore. I think I'm gonna head back. Really? Let me come with you then. Paul stood and Nick and Josh stood as well. We're coming too! Sorry, but I wanted to talk to Hana alone. Josh and Nick looked annoyed at this turn of events, but I couldn't tell whether it was because Paul was taking me away from them or because I was hogging Paul. Dejected, they sat back down and started debating the realities of spider tea parties. I'm just saying an actual spider would kill everyone. Pfft, how? Venom tea? Good night, Saint. Maybe. Paul and I tossed our trays and headed out to campus. I really wasn't planning on having him follow me, but maybe now is a good time to talk to him about that article. Are you feeling better today? What? Paul searched my face, but what he was looking for I didn't know. I blushed and looked away. You were really sad yesterday, so I was wondering. Oh. Yeah, I guess I'm better now. I just felt sick is all. Paul nodded. The campus was truly beautiful in the spring sunshine. There was a light breeze, and as I looked at the buildings we passed, I was reminded again of how well off Asagao was. The walkways were spick and span, the hedges perfectly trimmed. It wasn't a surprise the campus was a hive for rumors. So many rich kids and no city to play in. So Paul? Should we confront Paul about the rumors, or should we not? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Should we confront Paul or not? Rumors? Rumors? I wonder if this needs a poll. Roombas? Rumors? Cats riding Roombas? Rumor has it. Oh, Negapole says, yeah, everybody wants to confront. Have you seen those rumors? They were in the newspaper, so... Oh, yeah, those. Paul kicked a stray pebble off the sidewalk. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't mean to cause trouble. Good night, Blue. Wouldn't want to get in the way of any potential suitors, you know? No, it's not really a problem. I was just... Just what? Hoping for some sort of reaction? I stared at my hands and Paul chuckled. If there's anything I can do to fix it, I will. Trust me. I guess we'll just bide our time for now. Right. Stupid Hana. I shook my head. Poppy Hall rose in front of us, tall and imposing, a Georgian feel to its architecture. Paul held open the door for me. After you. He bowed in front of me, and with a giggle I headed inside. As we entered, I noticed an audible volume drop, as if people saw us and stopped talking, as if they were talking about us and didn't want to be overheard. It wasn't long before I realized why. Hey, Allie. The walls were lined with what could best be described as posters for a smear campaign. Paul's face was crossed out in all of them. Continue? No, shouted at us from every inch of the walls. Paul's original campaign posters were nowhere to be seen. Paul stepped up to a row of lockers and tore down an image, holding it in front of him. Did Jeff do this? Why would he do this? It's not like him. Paul. Now that I was looking at the poster in his hands, I could see there was small writing etched on the bottom of the poster. Paul is the bastard son of a Tanuki. There's no way we can prove he's really human, and you shouldn't trust people who aren't human. What are we going to do? What if people actually believe this? The look on his face broke my heart. I reached out to touch his arm, and he finally looked up from the poster and at me.
Well...
It's so clearly not serious. People are smarter than to believe this kind of thing, right? I bet that's why Jeff did it. Half as a joke. Wake up, sheeple. Paul sighed. I would love to give the general populace more credit, but fear-mongering and rumors, even when they're ridiculous, have a way of impacting people. You don't know that for sure. Paul shot me a look and I trailed off. He also must have noticed the way the conversation died when we walked into the room. If I can't continue being the president this year, my 2-year plan will be left behind and forgotten. I worked all last year on that. I should have done something more flashy. Nobody knew I was trying to help them. Nothing happened after all my promises. They thought I was just goofing off and now they don't trust me. If I had just known... Paul crumpled the flyer in his fist and threw it on the ground. I threw it on the ground! I reached out and rubbed his back, looking fearfully around the hallway. Students had gathered and were watching us. Some were pointing while others seemed uncomfortable with his outburst and scurried away. Don't worry about this, Paul. We'll figure out a way to fix it. Oh, we will. His face had darkened and I took my hand from his back. We definitely will. Paul stalked off shortly after, claiming he needed to find a safe place to let off some steam. I ain't a part of your system, man! I let him go. I had some steam of my own to let off. Angry Paul is sexy. Ah, let it seep into you, Syrian. Get it! Jeff! Jeff, who had been leaning over a desk talking with Ian, shot up straight as a rod. I stared up at him, shaking with rage. Why did you do that? Jeff swallowed, but smiled half-heartedly.
What?
What did I do? Don't act like that with me, Jeff. I know you're smarter than that. How could you do something like that to Paul? Jeff glanced away from me for a second or two, then looked at me again. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's not like people are going to believe them. It's a lighthearted and funny way to campaign against him. Lighthearted? Rumor-mongering? It was a joke. Paul's got charisma. He's got a magnetism to him, and he's got the bonus of having been president last year. Comparatively, I've got little to go off of. People don't really know me as funny, so I found a way to throw humor into the mix. I don't see what's wrong.
No!
People are gonna believe them! People aren't that stupid, Hana. You're not doing them justice. He folded his arms, mind apparently made up. No matter what I said, he was sticking with the posters. Oh, hey! Feast on the Fallen has just joined the fold! Welcome to the fold, Feast on the Fallen! You may now also join the Discord if you would like to link your Twitch and Discord. Once again, thank you for subscribing, and welcome to the fold. May you squiggle with joy. If it makes you feel any better, I helped him put them up. I glared incredulously at Ian. Yeah, man? Why would that make me feel better? I don't know, but it was worth a shot. Ugh. Oh yeah, sub dance! I threw up my hands and marched back to my desk. That was it. It was on. This meant war. Paul would win this campaign if it was the last thing I ever did. As soon as the bell rang, I packed my bags and ran to the door. Anna, wait!
See you later.
Sorry, really important election business here. I sprinted to the 4th floor and managed to catch Paul right as he was coming out of class. Paul, we need to hold a meeting immediately to discuss our strategy. We stared at each other in surprise. I see I picked the perfect campaign manager. Where are the other two? Paul pointed to the classroom behind him where Nick and Josh were thumb wrestling as if their lives depended on it. Josh crumpled to the ground under the pressure of Nick's thumb, tears leaking from his eyes. I will not give in. You'll lose your thumb if you don't. They've got cleanup duty and they're wrestling for it. Let's just have the meeting in there then. We can help them clean up. Another great idea from our campaign manager. He slapped me on the back with a chuckle. Yet you think you won't be good on the broadcast? I can't believe this. Paul, you're not going to force me to do it, are you? Paul pushed me into the room, bypassing a confused Satch and Jared on the way. Don't worry, don't worry. We have more important things to discuss right now anyway. I bite my thumb at thee. I figured that between the three of us, the classroom would get cleaned in no time. I should have known better. The three of them fought each other constantly, using new cleaning tools as weapons. Using each new cleaning tool as a weapon. Mops became lances, brooms became throwing lances, cleaning sprays a pepper spray equivalent. I cleaned silently on my own, working quickly to make up for the messes they started. By the time we were done, my head was throbbing and I wanted to murder someone. Couldn't they see the strain they were causing other people? Or were they really too wound up in their own worlds to care? Hey, someone's been watching Hamlet. No wonder Paul wanted me to be their campaign manager. I was probably the only person passive enough not to up and walk out. I clucked and, as if on cue, Paul stood. Okay, my friends and loved ones. As you can see, we have a bit of a situation on our hands. The enemy is using dirty tactics in order to destroy our main line of defense, my good reputation. No, Jeff isn't Austin. Jeff is a different human. Was that your question? He started pacing through the room, the movement calming my tired eyes and making it easier to focus. He seemed to be the kind of person who moved a lot when he spoke, the kind of person who had a lot of energy and passion and nowhere necessarily to put it. That must have been how he managed to stay in a club and run a newspaper on top of his presidency. How on earth had he found so many things that caught his passion? Here I was coming to Asagao more to escape something than to pursue something, and this kid was picking up meaning like pretty leaves in fall. I think there's only one thing we can do. He smacked a fist into his palm, eyes burning. Oh, you're right. Man, that's an old school reference, Double A. You're right. We strike back. What? Nick and Josh roared and jumped to their feet, tribal dancing around Paul. I stared at them. You can't be serious. We have to fight fire with fire. I'm not going to sit back and take this. Sit back and take... what? A little bit of name-calling? I blinked rapidly, trying to make sense of what was happening. My words floated back to me. Sometimes that happens, you know. They seem great until you spend all your time with them. But... Ooh, what are we gonna do, guys? Decision. I'm also like... Okay, so we've got, that's a terrible idea. That's not what I want. And we have... What is that going to accomplish? Oop, there you go, friends. Good luck. Man, why are there all these typos in this continue? There's like... Okay. That would make so much sense. I might have accidentally packaged up an older version of the game with all the typos still in it. That would... I know that I scrubbed this. That would explain why there's so many typos. Because I didn't download the newest version of the game. I went with the version of the game that I had on my computer, and in the past I re-downloaded the old files from where we have them hosted. So I'm pretty sure that I don't have the edited files, and that's what's happening. That's annoying. Not many people would have the patience, Negapole. He's an unacquired taste. Okay, so right now, what is that going to accomplish is winning with 14 votes, followed by That's Not What I Want at 9 votes. I'll give it another second or two. Unacquired taste. You think we screwed up? You think we made a choice and can't get the best end? I wonder. No spoilers, my friends, but I wonder. Syrian, dude, seriously. Careful, dude. There are some people here. There are some people here who haven't... There are some people here who haven't played this route before. And also, while there is a guide, I definitely know all of the values associated with all of these decisions, and I'm not going to say anything. Also, I'm not mad at you, Syrian. Just remember, there are some people who haven't played this route. So please no spoilers for anybody who has played this route and knows what's up. Maybe Bill Nye. I don't know. I mean, we don't even know if we've broken it yet. I know for a fact that a few of the guides out there for Asagao are not entirely accurate. I know that for a complete fact. Which is something that I kind of liked, but I'm just saying. Alright, we're gonna go with what is that going to accomplish, which is what has won. Oh, congratulations, Toolbox. Paul glared at me. Do you think people want a pushover for a president? No! Right? No, they want someone they can count on when push comes to shove. If a teacher threatens to close a school shop, or extend midterms for a day, or cancel a club activity because it's unsuitable, the student body needs a president to count on. How does this count as being a pushover? You're being mean. It's about respect. It's manipulation. I want the student body to want to vote for you, Paul, not to not want to vote for Jeff. Paul's eyebrows shot to the ceiling, but Josh scoffed. It's what happens in the end that matters, not how you get there. How draconian of you. More Draco Malfoy, if you ask me. Paul searched my eyes for a bit. Hana, you... I glared at him, trying to tell him all I wanted to say through my eyes. No matter what, it wasn't right. There was no way I would be able to hold my ground, not with all three of them against me like they were. But if Paul could understand how I felt about it, maybe then he wouldn't let it happen. If you do that, then I'm leaving this campaign. You'd actually... I wasn't trying to join a group of bullies. I was trying to make some kind of a difference. That's what I thought mattered to you. Of course, saving face is legit too. If you're concerned about your pride, then by all means, continue with what you're doing. I doubt it'll have the effect you're wanting it to, though. People who only want to take from other people never earn others' respect in the end. Are you implying that Paul's like that? I shrugged, my heart beating rapidly. I didn't know what I was implying, but I knew what I was thinking, and my thinking was that I didn't want to be around a person like that. I didn't want to be friends with a bully. I wasn't about to let rumors ruin somebody else's life just because I stood to gain something from it. Paul and I stared at each other, passing through an absurd kind of stalemate. No, Hana's right.
What?
I am?
Really?
She is? She is. He smirked, then shook his head.
All right.
I knew there was some fire in you. Would you mind telling me these things? I'd love to know more about who you think I am. Paul crowed and clapped his hands. See? She's got a mouth on her! He jumped up and down and I frowned at him, feeling like an elephant in a circus tent. Do you mind? Oh, right, sorry. If we're not doing that, then our next best bet is to... He glanced at me, Nick, and Josh. Neither of us said anything. Confront him? I already did that, actually. He insisted they saw it as a joke.
Really?
A joke? They? Ian helped. I knew that poster was too clever to be Jeff.
All right.
All right. Paul smacked his hand on a desk, grinning wildly. We're going to win this campaign no matter what. Got it? That was already the plan. Yeah? Well, now it's Plan 5.0. And there's no room for mistakes in Plan 5.0. Got it? I guess so. If you understand, put your hands in. He nodded to his hand on the desk. Nick and Josh threw their hands on top of his, and all three turned to look plainly at me. Anna? I sighed and put my hand in, too.
Yeah.
Wonderful. To presidency and the tournament. Y'all, Jeff is the antagonist in this route. May we win it all. Ha! Paul threw his hand up into the air all by himself. Nick, Josh, and I followed a second later, a belated "heh" escaping our lips. We've got to work on that, first of all. He put his hand on the desk again and nodded for us to get into formation. I followed suit, head spinning. What, oh what had I gotten myself into? Oh, hey! We're into chapter 3. I'm thinking maybe we should do a chapter stream so we can do chapter 3 on Thursday and chapter 4 on Sunday. What are you guys thinking? Yeah, chapter 1 is insanely long. Chapter 2, 3, and 4 on everybody's is a lot better. On everybody's routes. Sounds like a solid plan? To 3 or not to 3? Meh. Thanks, guys. Oh yeah, I forgot. All you guys have class too, so you guys also need to stream. So you need to sleep. Man, that's cool. Thanks, y'all. I appreciate that. Boop. I'm gonna save that. And let's go into the extra menu and let's listen to some chill music. And Maya, I think that depends on how well you guys do and what ending you get, don't you think? Oh, what ending we want to end the streams on, or... Yes, it all depends, Maya. I will not commit to anything. You did send me a hat, Maya, and it is your birthday. I'm sorry. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Maya. Happy birthday to you. Did I make up for it? Can I, like, I don't know how to do. I'm really good at the shoujo villain laugh. I'm very proud of it, okay? Birthday cheering dancing. That make up for it. I'm like bad at what is it? Aegyo? They call it aegyo in Korea, where people like purposefully act cute, like, or something. I don't know how do you... Oh, good. I'm glad, Maya. I wanted to sing it to you earlier. I'm just not confident in it, so I'm sorry that I sing it quietly. I did, Len. I'll respond to it after the stream. Yeah, I'll put it on my resume so that, like, if anybody needs to, I'm like, hey, would you like to hire... Would you like to hire somebody to sit in the back of your meeting so that, like, and, like, they're like, oh, thanks for signing this deal with us. May, like, ink your name in the contract. And then they stand up and they shake hands. And then I, from the background, go, and they're like, what? Squid Man has donated $5 and says $5 for playing other endings if we mess up. Squid, you were the one who co-opted this stream last time and made a Shane donation thing. So don't even think you can do it again. That was a one-time event, Squidling. I thought the birthday song was now finally in the open domain. Oh yeah, sure, Zach. If anybody wants to hire me to shoujo villain laugh, I'll come to your house and do it. Or I'll stand outside your enemy's window and do it there. Hey. I don't know, I'm kind of I'm very curious about what ending that we're gonna get. I mean, if we get the worst ending, lol. I would think that would be funny. I mean, yeah, sure, I'd stand outside of your enemy's window and do that. I'm freaking fearless. I think that I would be able to intimidate someone into not attacking me. Yeah, I'm gonna stand by that. I'm gonna stand by that. You cried! Oh my god, look at everybody screaming about it. It's just on random, that's what's happening, by the way. Man, I don't know. $5? $10? $5 plus travel? What's it? Another free shoujo villainous laugh. Happy birthday. That. Happy birthday. Use it as your ringtone. That'll be good. It's because it's not that far from my actual laugh. Mimi? Yeah, of course. That's how Mimi laughs. Because she's a dick. So what's everybody's one good thing that happened today, or one good thing that's they're looking forward to tomorrow? I love bad endings. I mean, they're so bad, but I love them. I don't know. I'm going to Purge. I'm going to PRGE, Allie. $5 plus travel, so like 505. Yeah, that's fair. You'd rather watch the entirety of the Jacques route than Paul's worst end. Dang, yo! I'm glad I made Paul's worst end so tragic. An art tutoring gig out of nowhere? Congratulations, Dark Pen! That's awesome! Your cold started to feel better? I'm glad. I'm gonna Skype a good friend on Thursday. That does 100% count. Skyping good friends is worth its weight in internet data. Took an exam and you got 100%. Oh yeah, high five. Nice. I'm glad, Agent, I think. Tomorrow's your day off from work. Oh, I'm so jealous, Lynn. Oh, and I love late night shopping. It's so nice because nobody is ever around. It's a little creepy, but like nice. Used book sale? Send me a picture of what you get, Lobster. Oh, congratulations, Maya! Dang, you just had like good news after good news after good news. Congratulations. Aw, that's so cute, Gillespie. Give donuts. Yeah. Free lit chocolate? Dude, oh my god. Go get like 12 of those and give them to everybody, Karina. Man, you don't need to... You can get other people gifts. You don't need to give me anything, though. Oh god, clever words can't help me now. Every time I see your username, I love it. Oh, congratulations, Cliff. Oh, Tian. Oh my god, that sounds so cool. I want to know everything about that. Did it go well, Agent? More hours at work. Get that Muns, Watsonia. Dang! I'm surprised you guys reacted so viscerally to Paul's worst end. I barely even remember what it is, to be honest. It is Wednesday. I am so glad it's Wednesday. Aw, double A! Thank you! That's so sweet of you! You know what? It sounds like you're doing a lot, Maya. Something had to give a little bit. 2 pounds of lint Jesus Christ, damn. This store is not kidding around. Oh, that's like almost comical, but then I thought about it harder, Tian, and I was like, that's terrifying. It does count as a good thing. Totally to me, Retin. No, don't try and help me remember. I think it's better to leave it as a surprise for the people who haven't seen it. Man, now I'm feeling like we have to watch Paul's worst end. I just wonder whether we're gonna end on it or like start on it. Haunted my heart. I know all the lyrics to this song. And I didn't even write them. I'm just a sad person. Oh, yeah, that is karma. That is definitely karma. Oh, I'm sorry, Maya. You like the OP? Thank you, Cliff. I appreciate that. A lot of people didn't like it as much, but I like it. Hugged to death. Congrats, Double A. She came out nice? I'm sure you meant she like came out well, because Mimi can't come out nice. There isn't a nice bone in her body. And that's exactly the reaction we were going for, Syrian. Aw, Cliff, that's adorable. I have a lot of emotions when I listen to the Asagao Academy theme song, obviously. And I also I think that the girl who sang it and wrote the lyrics, she did such a good song. A good job infusing the lyrics with meaning. Okay. The smoke is fine. In Kansas, we did a thing where every summer we would burn the fields in order to like replant the wheat, because it was better for them. So the smell of smoke in the air, like this kind of smell, although I don't like the ash, the smell of the smoke is super nostalgic for me. It makes me feel like summer is starting, which is weird because it's ending. Hey, Snorp. I'm surprised I can still sing with my voice being like this. Yeah, you can Google it. I'm pretty sure it's on the wiki, the fan wiki. Yep, I spent the majority of my life in Kansas. Man, everything's wrong with her. You know, we didn't put a stop button. That's a stop button. Anyways. Shut up, Zach. Anyways, oh, congratulations, man. Congratulations. Anyways, as I really do want to stay in chat, but I should also be a responsible adult for myself and go to sleep. Thank you guys for coming out to the stream. Thank you to all of the new Fold members. I look forward to seeing you in the Discord. Thank you to everybody who donated, all the new apprentices, and all of the current observers of the ritual. I don't know, I was trying to think of a fancy name for people who were watching, but I guess it's just, and thank you to all of you. And I will see you on Thursday. Bang! Good night. Observe.